Hi, how are you? My name is Cheryl Smith. I'm the owner of Consider It Done Transition Services in Bloomington, Indiana. Now, you might be watching this video because you're thinking about downsizing. So I'm glad you found us, and I hope we can give you some tips to get you started. First thing, I know a lot of you may be in a position where you've had to make a lot of decisions about creating a transition in your life, and sometimes that can be the hardest part. You may be watching this video because you're ready to just live in a smaller house, or you're tired of taking care of a big lawn. Maybe you'd like to move closer to family, or very possibly you've lost a spouse and the house you're living in now just holds too many memories. So if those are one of the situations you're in, then you've found the right place, because we love to help you get started with that downsizing process. So what I wanted to do in this first video is talk to you about the getting started phase. We'll jump into definite strategies that you can do to work through your home. We'll talk about how to organize pictures and what to do with filing cabinets and extra files, and maybe what to do with extra furniture. But before you jump into that process, I think it's important that you really think about the process from beginning to end, because it gives you a better sense of how to jump into the project. Maybe if I asked everybody to raise their hands virtually right now, you might say that you haven't started because the job just seems too overwhelming. And if it does, I totally understand. We hear that with many of our clients that we work with. They look around a house they've lived in 20, 30, 40 years, and all they can see is all the memories, things that their kids made, furniture donated and handed down through the family members. And it just becomes overwhelming. And you almost decide you can't start because it just seems like such a huge process. So the first thing that I'd like you to think about as you go through this journey is maybe grab a piece of paper and just write down some things that are on your mind right now. You know, what's hard about this? What's easy? What are you looking forward to? What is your family going to think? Just kind of take those thoughts that are in your head and get them down on paper. And then that'll help you outline this entire journey as you get started. So let's talk about first is you need to talk to the most important people in your lives. So that might be a significant other, it might be a spouse, it might be your children, maybe it's close family friends or other family members. So the first thing to do is to let them know you're talking about this process, so that you have some support and accountability along the way. The other reason to do this is you're going to need to be on the same page with the person that you live with. A lot of times I run into clients who do not have the same information or thoughts about how to downsize. Somebody thinks they should just throw away everything, and the other person in the house wants to hold on to more of those things. So you need to have this conversation so when this process starts, there's a smooth transition for both of you and nobody has hurt feelings as you work through the process. So make sure you share what's on your heart and share what's on your mind as you start this process. It's so very important. So the next thing I want you to do, once you've decided you're on the same page, is to look around your house and make a list of the things that you love, those non-negotiable items that have to go with you to your next space. It could be, an award you won, or your family photo album, or the family Bible. Make a list of the items that you want to keep with you no matter where you go. And share this list with your family members so that they know which of those items are most important to you. In case they come in the house or are trying to help you, they're aware of the pieces that mean the most to your heart. So make that list, make it available. You can share it in an email, you can send it in a handwritten letter, or maybe you just tape it up on the refrigerator so when they visit, they'll know what you're looking for. The next thing I want you to do is talk to your other family members. Now, I know we already did this earlier, and I mentioned that you should talk to them about this process. But when you're ready to start letting go of some of the things in your home, you need to talk with your family about this. First of all, children who have lived in the house that you're leaving sometimes have a very strong emotional attachment to the house and items in the house. So when you throw this on them that you're thinking about downsizing or moving, it's an emotional moment for them as well. So be prepared to help them through that pressure of letting go of their bedroom, the things that are in the bedroom. and all things associated with the house, maybe the backyard where they had their favorite hammock. So know that this is also an emotional process for the people who love you as well. But when you're thinking about passing items on, why not pass on the items you love now? So after you've made your list, this next list should be items that should go to family and friends. And if you feel the need to give it now, why not gift it while you're still here so you can watch them enjoy it as well? If you're not ready to give it up, you can still make a list or tag items on the back and note who they're going for. So if there's a beautiful family picture and it needs to go to your daughter Nikki, who lives in North Carolina, then you can make a note on the back of the picture or create a spreadsheet or some sort of notification system so that everybody in the family knows who's getting each of the items. Sometimes we do work with families where not all the kids know where everything is going. And after your estate is left to divide between families, we want to make sure everybody knows who receives each piece. It keeps everybody happy. They know that your wishes were taken care of. So please take the time to do that. And then the items that aren't marked for family or for you, we know can be sold or donated at a later time. So let's quickly review the list. We want you to talk to your family. We need you to identify the items that you love, the non-negotiables. And then we need to talk with family and friends about giving of other items in the home. The next thing I want you to do is create a timeline. Let's talk about how long this process should last and when you're planning on making the move. I've worked with people who have waited an entire year to move, and we've started a year before the actual move. I've also worked with people who move within 4 weeks. So everybody has a different timeline, and there's a lot of scenarios that go with how we choose what the timeline look like. So yours may be unique, and that's okay. So just write it down. It can be month by month or week to week, and talk about what you're going to do in each of those months prior to the move. When you're doing that, and if that becomes frustrating, some people turn to me, and that's what we do as a senior move manager. We help people get this process together. So if you're having a hard time creating these lists and timeline, you can call somebody like me from Consider It Done to help you through the process. But a lot of people like to do this piece on their own because it gives them a chance to get all their ducks in a row before other people become involved. So anyway, think about, let's just say you're getting ready to downsize and it's getting on maybe May 1st, you decide to start in that office upstairs that you haven't looked in a while. And break down the office, maybe a couple hours each day, a couple hours every other day, and you can sort out the things you want to keep, that you want to give away, that you want to donate, and possibly that need to be thrown away. So you can start this sorting process, and as you do this, I promise it gets easier and it gets a little quicker once you get moving on it. So create that timeline so that you're not bumped up right to the day of the move and you have a lot of precious items to look through. As I mentioned before, if you lived in your house between 20 and 60 years, it's taken you that long to accumulate everything that's in the house. So if you take a little time to undo what you've collected, it's a lot easier than making last minute decisions before you move. Because what's hard for me and our job is when clients call and they have regret about things that they forget to hold back. So take the time, be proactive, and get these items donated, sorted, doled out to friends and family before the day of the move. So create that timeline. The other thing I'm going to suggest too is that you use family or friends to help with accountability and to help you through this emotional step. You know best who you work with. Sometimes you know it's your son or daughter, other times it's your next door neighbor. So when you're thinking about somebody to help you through the process, choose somebody who can walk with you, helps you with these emotional decisions, can be honest about helping you decide what should be kept and what should be donated. Excuse me. So keep that in mind because you're going to need that support along the way. And don't forget to use that camera or cell phone to take pictures of things. If your daughter lives far away and you're sorting, maybe she's your accountability partner. Go ahead and send those snapshots and ask her if those items should be kept or held until she visits. So you sometimes need that help along the way. And I know that when I've talked to clients who've been through this process, that's one of the things they're always glad they did, was have somebody they can lean on along the way. The other thing that you can do, as I mentioned before, is to always talk to a professional to help you through this. Maybe this whole process is too overwhelming. And you can call somebody like a senior move manager, or maybe a professional organizer or relocation specialist, which is what we do as well. And we help you through these steps. We walk you through them, we set them up for you, and almost create a lesson plan of what should happen from when you decide you want to move up till the day of the move and beyond. So what I want you to know is that downsizing is a big step. It can be a step that helps you reduce stress, makes your life easier, makes it happier, and you can focus on the things in your world that make you happy, like being with grandkids, spending more time with your spouse, traveling in the winter months. So please know that this is very important. You can do this, you can get small wins, and you can get to that final destination of getting moved into that new home that makes you feel better. So this is a good starting point, but we're not done. We're going to keep working on some ways to help you downsize. So once you've worked through this emotional part, getting everything down on paper and really having a little bit of a plan, then we'll start digging into some more specifics. And the next one we'll talk about is small wins, ways that you can start working in small areas of the house with small amounts of time that have a big impact. Thanks for tuning in today. My name is Cheryl Smith, owner of Consider It Done Transition Services. I look forward to seeing you on our next video. Good luck with the downsizing.